I know everybody was worried. I spent like 5 days away from the internet and everybody's like scratching and clawing in my DMs being like, is everything okay? Do you need help? Do you need support? Well, I'm here to let you know everything's good, everything's cool, just needed a little step back ski, you know what I'm saying? So here we are, I come back to the internet and there's Ian Watkins news in the news, you know what I'm saying? Now we gotta talk about some Ian Watkins. He is the disgraced singer of the Lost Prophets, okay? So we're gonna get into all of that, but before we do, I'm just gonna introduce myself because it's been a while since I've been here. My name is Dan Frampton, if you've forgotten. I am the internet's friendliest gatekeeper. Before we scoot on with this video, how's about you pop me a like and put some pancakes down there in the comments. While you're down there, you might want to subscribe. We're at almost 8,900 subscribers, okay? So let's get me to 10,000 and then I'll do a whole 24-hour live stream. It'll be wild. Now, taking 4 days away from the internet, you come back very, very rusty. So we're gonna see how we do here when we talk about this guy over here, Ian Watkins. Okay, now this guy was a rock star in his 20s, like in the early 2000s, okay? He was the lead singer of the Lost Prophets, and he was riding the waves. They were like so many people's favorite band. And even I think Penguin Zero, Charlie, Moist Critical, he was the biggest fan of these guys. Now these guys were a little bit past my time. I didn't even really know too much about the Lost Prophets, but because Charlie was such a big fan, it made me realize that these guys actually had a whole bunch of reach. And not only did they have a whole bunch of reach, they were doing some really, really evil stuff behind the scenes. Now, Ian Watkins was doing some of the grossest things that you could even imagine. Children, babies, essay. He was working with the mothers of the babies to get the babies in a room to be. It was some of the most disgusting stuff to ever happen, not only just like in the music scene, but like in the world whatsoever. The power went to this guy's head and he thought he could get away with literally anything. So he was just out there literally babies, okay, and thinking that it was just chill. And he said he was doing it all for the mega lols. He was just having a good time working with the moms. Hey, do you got a kid? Bring that kid over to my little place and we'll have a good time. That's like absolutely abhorrent behavior, and I'm so glad that this guy got caught. And in 2013, when all this came out, of course, the band broke up, but he went to jail. Now, when you go to jail, not only jail, jail is like small time. This guy went to prison to serve like 30 years. And when you're this kind of heinous individual and commit crimes like towards children or whatever, you are not treated well in the slammer, okay? Other criminals do not look so highly upon that. That is the most disgusting thing, even to like someone who people for fun. They're like, hey, you were out there babies? I'm not going to be okay with that, and I'm going to be killing you in your sleep, buddy. So that's kind of the reputation that goes with that kind of crime, and I'm surprised it took 10 years to get this kind of story, because Ian Watkins was taken hostage and brutally stabbed in prison, this report says. The now 46-year-old Watkins was taken hostage on Saturday morning, August 5th, my birthday, by 3 fellow prisoners who brutally beat and stabbed him. He was eventually freed by prison guards and treated outside the prison. The Mirror cites a source saying he was found by officers after being held hostage and battered on Saturday morning. He's in life-threatening condition and there are fears he could die. Fears? I think that was what everybody was looking for. I don't think anybody is fearful of that. If he survives, he'll be very lucky. So, when the internet heard this news, of course, nobody wept. Nobody shed a single tear for this guy. We kind of expect this kind of story to happen to this kind of criminal when they're in prison, of course. But it took 10 years to happen, and we're all thinking, okay, finally, this guy is getting his ultimate just desserts. But then, just yesterday, it came out that Ian Watkins' jail injuries are not life-threatening. Turns out that this guy is going to be happy to survive it. He's going to keep on keeping on. His heart is going to beat one more day. These guys that kidnapped him, that battered him, that him. They failed in their attempts to eradicate this earth of the most disgusting human being walking it right now, Mr. Ian Watkins. Now, I don't want to endorse any of this, of course. I don't want to celebrate any of that, of course. You know what? Kidnapping and stealing is bad no matter who you are, where you are, and what's going on, no matter what the circumstances are. It's just this kind of behavior is very, very famous to happen in prisons, and that's why it's not surprising. This article says that he was sentenced to 29 years in prison and a further 6 years on license, but he'll be eligible for parole after serving 2/3 of his prison term. I don't know if that's okay. I don't think he should be eligible for any kind of parole. I'm gonna have to make a pretty bold prediction here, and I hate to make claims on someone's life, but when it's Ian Watkins, one of the most vile human beings walking the earth right now, I have to say that this is just gonna be attempt number 1, okay? I don't think that the people are gonna be happy that he survived this, okay? I think there will be an attempt number 2 and maybe an attempt number 3. But because the authorities know that people are after him, there might be a heightened security around him. So these other prisoners are going to have to work extra hard. And I think that they're going to be motivated enough to do it, especially with a couple failures under their belt. And I didn't have it on my 2023 bingo card that on my birthday, there'd be Ian Watkins news to report. But here we are. If you want to catch up on the whole story of this guy, you can check out this other video I made. Okay, see you later.